This is the sound and the soul of a rich history and deeply rooted legacy. Our students marched for freedom and stood tall to ensure all had a chance to achieve greatness. At LeMoyne-Owen College, we take students' magic, add education, and together we make the perfect recipe for success. Join LeMoyne-Owen College for its annual 807 Giving Day Telethon on August 7th and 8th. For 807 details and to donate, visit givetoLOC.com.
It's Keith Millbrook. This is my wife, Tracy Millbrook. How you guys doing today? Tracy, as an LOC graduate and supporter, tell us a little bit more about yourself and how LOC became an encouragement for you.
Well, first of all, I'm just excited to be here for 807 Day. We're going to start there.
Okay.
And even before I get into that, I want to make sure that everyone knows that if they want to give the 807, that they're going to give to LOC.com. Okay.
Amen.
We want to encourage everybody to do that because LeMoyne-Owen is a great place. You asked me the question of how it impacted me and what it means to me. You know, coming from South Memphis, around the block from the college, 38126, living an adult life with 7 children and you. We had never been on a college campus. And so this place saved us.
Yes, it did.
It saved us. When I look at you and I think about the things we've done and the things we're doing now, we would not have been afforded opportunity if it had not been for LeMoyne-Owen College.
So would you agree that LeMoyne-Owen College is a great access to the community and to this nation?
The only historic Black college in the city.
That's
it is
great.
A beacon. It's a beacon, you know. I don't have to give the history, but I will talk about our journey. Before we got here, speaking to the audience, Mr. Millbrook and I, we came from South Memphis. It was very hopeless. 38126. 3126 community, the poorest zip code in Tennessee.
Yes.
We were undereducated. We had 7 children. We'd already been overworked and underpaid. And when everything was reformed, welfare, we had an opportunity to either go to school or go to work in order to continue to receive benefits. We decided we'd already been overworked and underpaid. So we decided to go get our GEDs.
Right.
Talk about the GED class.
Oh, yes, I remember that so much. Matter of fact, our GED instructor, his name was Mr. Hardeman, and he's a LeMoyne-Owen College graduate. I don't know what year it was, but he sat there and taught us. You know, when I started the class, I was the only guy in the class with about 40 women in the class, and he looked at me and said, "Look, don't worry about it. You're gonna be all right." And so I kept going. I kept making mistakes, and I still having those same bad techniques on how to live. And he really helped me out with that. And he suspended me from the class a couple of times, but I kept coming back. And soon later, she tagged on. She said he keeps going back. So I need to find out what's going on. Surprised what she got, there was a whole lot of women in there. But anyway, when we got there, Mr. Hardeman told both of us, "Look, I cannot teach you to be a professor, but I can teach you to pass a GED test in 5 parts.
Yes.
All you got to do is just listen and be encouraged."
Yes.
And he started there.
Yes. And so what happened is that for me, I dropped out in the 8th grade. I had been out of school 14 years, and he had dropped out of school
in 11th grade.
In 11th grade, been out about 17 years.
Exactly.
He had 7 children, a blended family, and all of the jagged edges you can imagine in South Memphis.
Right.
And so what happened when he told us about, you know, getting our GEDs, we did it. Then he came back once we got those GEDs in 6 months because we followed instructions. When we got those GEDs, he came back and said, "You don't need the GED for a better warehouse job. You need to extend your education." I would say, "What?"
Right.
He said, "Go to college." I said, "Come on, us." He said, "LeMoyne-Owen will receive you. Go over there." So,
matter of fact, he said LeMoyne-Owen College right around the corner.
Right around the corner. He was right from all the stuff we were doing, everything that was crazy. A beacon of hope right here. And so we applied, we received our GEDs May of 98. We applied for LeMoyne-Owen June of 98. And we were accepted August of 98. And it was so exciting. We said we get going to college, and all the crazy stuff we were doing, we kind of downsized a little bit. The children were excited. And so when we on campus, coming on campus, it was like a new world to see the diverse instructors and staff, and it was just, and everybody was so loving and warm, and they knew that we was non-traditional students, and they knew we had jagged edges, but they didn't care.
Right.
And so this is the thing here. We had to adapt. Even coming to college, we weren't just really 100% ready. The transition was not from 0 to 100. When we got here, it was about October, in the middle of the first semester. And one of our classmates came and said, you guys have been missing chapel. I said, we're going to go to church too? And they said, it's freshman seminars for a grade. And we went. And I'm going to tell you something. We were still kind of had all the dust and the jagged edges on us. We were still adapting. We get there, and the motivational speaker didn't show up. An associate professor showed up and stepped in, and she preached Jesus Christ. Yep, we found Jesus here at LeMoyne-Owen College.
Early on when you first started talking, you mentioned LeMoyne-Owen College as being a beacon.
Yeah.
And why we know now that LeMoyne-Owen College was a beacon, we followed that light that LeMoyne-Owen College educated us, re-educated us, taught us how to do everything all back over again. Because remember, I was out of school 17 years, and she was out of school since the 8th grade.
Yes.
And we had to learn how to write, read, just learn everything they teach us, be able to put it back on paper and talk about it. And that was a difficult thing for us.
Even social skills, right? Remember?
And that opened a door for us to be able to move to the level that we are now. Yeah. So I just love LeMoyne-Owen College.
Yeah.
I really do. And I'm going to go on and tell you right now.
Yeah.
As a product of LeMoyne-Owen College, I'm talking to you guys. If you became a product of LeMoyne-Owen College, they teach success. It's not just about academics. It's about becoming successful, following your dreams, and becoming an alumni so that you can help us donate this money to the school at give to LOC.com.
Yes.
Great place to plant a seed because they're going to educate the children how to become professionals in this world today, technology professors, everything.
Yes.
LeMoyne-Owen College is a beacon of hope for young students.
Yeah, let me tag back onto my story. So in the middle of that semester, that chapel, she got up and preached Jesus Christ. She found that we had 7 children. She found that we were from the community. They couldn't understand how we got here, but the doors opened and we were encouraged by an alum. And she told us after the service, after we accepted Christ, get married.
Right.
Get those children to church.
Who's the professor's name?
Dr. Cheryl Golden.
Right.
Dr. Cheryl Golden.
Dr. J.C. Tudor.
That's right.
Dr. Hopkins.
Yes.
Dr. Mark Way. I mean, we can go on and on.
They never judged us. They knew we were non-traditional. They knew we had the jagged edges. And so that semester, when she told us that, we trust them. We got a marriage license. Christmas Day, we knocked at her door, and she officiated our marriage. We've been married 25 years.
Yes, sir.
Because of them, I'm going to tell you that was wonderful. So the children change, and just moving forward a little bit, I got pregnant with baby number 8 the second semester, okay? But to this day, out of 8 children, we have 100% high school graduation rate.
And
all 8 of our children, 6 post-secondary education.
When you say that great influence not only come from Jesus, it also comes from what we were learning in college when we was here.
Oh, yes.
Let's think about it.
Yes.
Let's go back and reflect on how LeMoyne-Owen College really helped us. It separated us just for a little while because we had to go to different classes.
Yes.
She was an English major, and I was a historian. So we couldn't go to the same class. So we didn't cheat each other. We actually learned, and we actually got a chance to learn from the professors in a way that we knew how to do. Yeah. And we were good. And these teachers and professors are great.
Yes.
And yes. I thank God for the leadership that's here.
Yes.
When you bring your children here to LeMoyne-Owen College, you bring it to a place that's going to culture them, going to really teach them.
And teaching history, for me, English, for me, when I got to my required courses, I struggled because I had to take a lot of remedial courses. We both did, okay? One of our professors, and I'm not going to call any names, he told me, I understand. I know you may understand what you're writing, but we can't. So you're going to dig deeper and go to some
I'll call his name, you'll watch me. But go ahead.
And so what happened is that I took more English courses, and I fell in love with fine arts and humanities. So by the end of my matriculating my degree, I ended up with a degree in English, and it was personal. It had nothing to do with a job. And I want you to know that that degree, that discipline, has helped me in all areas. It has allowed for me to work at LeMoyne-Owen. LeMoyne-Owen hired me before I graduated. I started in the Office of Institution Advancement. I started on director's role. I was a project manager for 2 grassroots grants that had been sitting in the back room, and it was new. They didn't know they was going to get it. And it dealt with car seats. I had an opportunity to work in collaboration with the National Conference of Black Mayors, with Mayor Harrington clicking a ticket, with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, and we developed even more, and we became a center for safety restraints in vehicles. And so we were over 100 cities in 21 counties by the end of the period of the grant. But I also had an opportunity to move further and work for LeMoyne-Owen College CDC as the resource director. We started the first GED class there in Mississippi and Edict at the Walker House.
Exactly.
And then I had an opportunity to work for Memphis Housing Authority as a youth services director, helping young people in the housing authority become employable. And it blessed my heart when I see some of the clients I provide services for. They used to be gangbangers. They laid down their colors, and some of them are managers at Dollar Tree. Some of them are in college. Some of them, and just to see them doing what we're doing now, I know that LeMoyne-Owen is the beacon of hope. So I want to encourage you guys to give.
Exactly.
If you're alum, if you're not alum, give some hope to some people.
Exactly.
Help this great institution. This institution is awesome.
Yes,
we're a living witness.
Yes, it is. So, how can you imagine LOC right now?
Right now.
What's your idea about LeMoyne-Owen College right now?
Right now, what I see is that the alums coming back in droves. I see something different with the relationship between the alums and the college. You know, every situation, every season, there's an evolution, but for some reason, the alums are gravitating, attracting to LeMoyne-Owen. Maybe it's the pandemic, but right now, people need hope on different levels. And sometimes a 9 to 5 is not going to always work. It didn't work for us. We were already overworked and underpaid. We needed some more stuff. We needed some substance. And so now that a lot of the alums have gone on and we have established and maintained, it's time for us to really come back in droves and pull the people in the community, pull our people in. You understand? So a lot of people didn't have hope in us, remember? A lot of people really, even family members, even some people in the community, when we try to get our benefits, they really turned their nose up at us because they didn't think that we wanted it anymore. But when we had an opportunity to receive our GEDs and just one alum said, go to the college. When we were accepted, I'm going to tell you, it was just a real celebration. Mr. Millbrook had a Jerry curl back then. I said, before you go to this college, Mr. Millbrook, I'm going to have to get all these Shanae braids and all, you got to cut that Jerry curl. We got to look like them. And I'm going to tell you something, the transformation was real. This place is really helped. And our daughter in 2017, she served as the second youngest Miss LeMoyne-Owen College.
Wow.
You understand?
So right now, what I imagine LeMoyne-Owen College right now is getting stronger.
Oh, yes.
It was great then. And when we visit every now and then, it was real. It was still great. But I see a change at LeMoyne-Owen College right now. It's going to make it greater. But we're going to need the alums. We're going to need folks who really not alums for LeMoyne-Owen College to be encouraged to give to this beautiful institution. It's been doing this for more than 100 years. And it's been nothing but positiveness. It's getting better.
It's getting
better.
That's what I imagine LeMoyne-Owen College is right now. It's resilient. It survived a house fire, relocation, and some other stuff.
Wow.
You understand? And so I was here. I grew up on Director's Road, so I've seen some things, and it does have magic here. Sometimes the doors, I know the doors should have been closed. Look, we're still here thriving.
That's right.
Because there's purpose here. There's hope here. You know. And so let me ask you this here, Mr. Millbrook.
Okay.
As a historian studying history, tell me some of the things that you learned about being a historian here at LeMoyne-Owen during your studies.
Oh, my goodness. Through Dr. Eddie Pate, I learned a lot of stuff. I learned about the color stream. Let me go there. I've learned that even back in the time of slavery, that you not only had the European slave owners, but you had African slave owners here in this country. A lot of folks didn't know that during the time I was studying to be a historian, but that's what struck my nerve. And I looked into that a whole lot more. And what I've learned, that they were more valuable slave owners here as a black person than even the white guy. They own more land. They own just as many slaves. The only difference is that they could not pass on their inheritance to their sons and daughters. Once that African slave owner lost it or died, his his items, whether it was slaves or land or homes or any kind of asset that he had, went to the United States government. That was the only difference. That's what I
Yes.
learned as a historian.
But let me
And
tell
I
you,
learned statistically that even though on paper it says that we are not doing well, but we actually are. And on paper, if we look at the history facts and look at what's going on now, we can do a whole lot better than what we are, what we
yes.
have done in the past.
Yeah, and
We don't have to
so
be slave owners, we can be business owners. We don't have to be
yes, 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 yes.
we can
And
be
you,
business owners, we can be entrepreneurs, and
yeah, you know something. When you know the truth, when you know better, you do better. And so it kind of changed all these things. Everything we learned here on campus changed the way we watch television, changed the way we ate, the way we talk, the way we impact our children.
yes,
I'm gonna tell you something. As an African American mother in South Memphis, coming from the poorest part of Tennessee, to have 8 children, all with high school graduation, high school diplomas, and 6 post-secondary. That is awesome. All of our children have pulled from us. When
would
we
you say
got,
LeMoyne-Owen College thought we became a project for them as a group?
absolutely, especially the ones who sit in the seats here behind us. You
Okay.
understand? And now their children are doing great. Their children, some of them are homeschooled. We have options now that we didn't know before. The more on open up our minds to it help us to reason life better, you know. And so, LeMoyne-Owen, if you guys are watching this segment, please give. It's a great
Exactly.
place to sow into. We sow into a lot of things, and I'm not going to get real wild with it, but you know something. When you sow into people, when you sow into an institution, you're better where we are. We become better as a whole, you know. And so, with that being said, when we before I graduated, I told you earlier that the Office of Institution Advancement hired me, and I went on and done some great things. But even now, my husband and I both have served as executive directors. We have a nonprofit that's referred to as We Are Family Community Development Corporation. Because after we left LeMoyne-Owen and the way LeMoyne-Owen helped us, we had to establish something that allowed for us to help others.
Do you
Okay.
have a gift prepared for LeMoyne-Owen College today?
Yes, we do have a gift prepared. We do. We do. We don't have the check in hand, but we are going to donate our 807 today. We couldn't ask you all to do something without doing it ourselves.
Amen.
Okay. And so remember, if you want to give right now, you can stop and do it. You guys know all these devices we have, the electronic wires and everything. You could do it right now where you are. Here it is. Give to LOC.com. This is awesome. This is a great opportunity to give. Since my husband and I been educated, we understand that it's important not to eat up the whole fruit. I'm gonna tell you what I mean.
Exactly.
If you're hungry and you some kind of way get an orange, you don't eat the whole orange. You take the peeling and throw it back in the ground for compost. Then you get the meat and the juice and you consume it. But you take that seed and you sow it back so that when you're hungry again, you can receive a harvest. So seed time is good time. And so this is a good place to sow. Because
Exactly.
look at me and my husband. I'm gonna tell you, we have some people we left behind, but because we decided to come here and to allow for LeMoyne-Owen to groom us up, things have been better. Tell us some of the things you've done, Mr. Millbrook. Give us your
Well,
career path.
my career path is that real simple but hard. I know they don't go together, but that's what happened. I looked for jobs when I graduated. Really couldn't find one. Not a bad thing because of what LeMoyne-Owen College educated me to be was be persistent. And I ended up working with LOC CDC under Jeffrey Higgs, and along with me pushing my resume out, I kept on getting these accounting hitbacks, and I wasn't accounting. I'm like, who want me to count some money for? And Jeffrey Higgs, LOC, CDC had no idea that was going on, but it gave me opportunity. When I went to interview, he got on my case. I'm gonna be honest, because he's an LOC, CDC man himself. He's
That's
an
right.
LOC man himself. He got on my case and look, man, with your hair look like it does, you should never have a one-sheet resume. And so I had to come back with almost like a book for resume. But anyway, after I done that, went through the interviewing process, the guy, Jeffrey, told me, like, get your tail on up in that accounting room. I looked around like, wait a minute, I'm an accountant still. So I started at LeMoyne-Owen College as an accountant. I became his just youth director, and then I went on and became an executive director for another agency that worked with the VA, and I stayed there for 10 years, almost 10 years. And
Tell us about that place.
well, it's a place that housed veterans. Veterans who came from the same walk of life that I did. Once was homeless, once had a tragic background that has gone through some things, and that agency that I worked with the VA for, which was Barron Heights, provided a place for those veterans, and a lot of them became successful. We had a successful rate of about 80% that came through, but all of this came from the idea of LeMoyne-Owen College sowing a seed into me. They made me believe in myself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's nowhere else I could have gone when I was coming through, wanting to learn more and do better in my life than LeMoyne-Owen College.
Yes,
That's
I
from the day
agree.
we're going to prepare this gift, and we're going to look at you guys again and look, y'all prepare a gift for LeMoyne-Owen College right now.
Give to
You are sowing on
LOC.com.
good ground, and give to LOC.com right now.
Yeah.
And
So right now, what we're doing, even post our careers, my love, COVID, the pandemic hit a lot of people, and so we were victims, but we didn't receive COVID. My husband had one situation that he had to have corrected in the hospital. He went home, came home with hospital-acquired pneumonia, and so he went through double pneumonia, heart failure, and I tell you, this man is a newer man because we almost lost him 3 times last year. So he had heart failure, and it was ugly. But with that being said, with the things that we've learned and the tools we have, we decided to put our minds together and start different businesses along with our nonprofit. I'm going to tell you, an educated mind really help you to reason with life. The stories that we learn here, even just doing grassroots stuff here, that stuff don't go anywhere. And so we decided to put all our tools together, use all of our tools from all the educational training we've had, and now we have short-term rental. We have a nonprofit. I told you we are Family CDC. We mentor adults in hard places. We give them back what was given to us, and we have a lot of results. We have one program that was funded by the city of Memphis. It's referred to COVID-19 Survivor Readiness Skills. It is a mentoring program. The mentoring program allows for us to mentor families on how to survive the pandemic. They receive incentives. We have a food pantry. We feed over 2,000 families every year. And our food pantry allows the participants to receive food for their whole family for the full 12 weeks, the PPEs, and they even receive money. But I'm going to tell you, we have some success stories. And so this is all to the grooming that we received from LeMoyne-Owen College. We never would have had an opportunity to do it. So we encourage you guys to give today. It's
right.
807, okay?
And I'm going to ask one question, and I'm going to answer it myself, okay? What did Mr. Hardeman tell us about going to school when we graduated? What happened?
You can write your own paychecks. He said you can write your own paychecks. He said
you answered the question. That's good. So you can write
He said you can write your own paychecks, and pretty much that's what we're doing. But today we're writing LeMoyne-Owen a check.
Amen. That's good.
Yes, and so remember, give to LOC.com. Thank you.